If you're anything like me, you definitely understand that feeling where you're constantly holding your breath, waiting for the right time or the right person so that you can finally be yourself. As I've hit my 40s, though, I really had to get honest with myself and realize the right time just doesn't show up. You have to claim it. I've spent way too long editing my life for the people around me, but this next chapter, it's unedited and it's experimental. And honestly, it's a little terrifying, but I've realized that staying small feels so much worse. I feel like I've hidden in plain sight for a lot of my life, and I'm finally done with that. Something I've been thinking a lot about lately, especially by building this channel and some other sort of social media things that I want to try and start doing, is bringing up a lot of issues around the idea of being visible and visibility. As I look back on my life, I noticed that I have spent a lot of years hiding and trying to not be visible to those around me, in a sense. And the sad thing is that it has worked for many years in my life. As I've gotten older, I've realized hiding isn't a character flaw. It's a coping mechanism. It's a strategy, and it works because if nobody sees you, no one can reject you, the real you, and no one can criticize that genuine version of you because you're not actually showing your true self. And whew, is that difficult to think about and to work on. It's something that I've been working on for a long time because being visible is something I feel like I need to do in my life for the things that I want to do. I think it started at a really young age. I've mentioned in a previous video, I am an Aries. So that means that I am headstrong. I speak my truth. I do things on impulse. And I think when I was little, I did a lot of that. And over the years, from family, from teachers, from watching friends, I learned that I needed to not do that. And so instead of growing and learning how to harness that sort of Aries me craziness, I think I turned to hiding instead. So I grew up an only child of a single mom, and I think that also plays a part in this challenge of being visible or not. I think if you grew up in a situation like that, you definitely understand sort of this impulse as an only child, especially, to grow up so quickly, to not be a burden, and to, again, not be visible, because then you won't cause trouble. You won't be an issue or a problem. It sounds really messed up to say that, but that is something I feel like I took on as my personality was, I don't want to cause trouble. I'm going to be the good little girl, and I'm going to sit back, and I'm not going to be seen. When I was younger, I felt like I needed to rein in those more sort of gregarious and outgoing characteristics so that I would not be a burden. And that is something that's been hard to sort of think about and focus on and come to terms with. Obviously, it has served its purpose in my life. I feel like it helped me steer clear of a lot of bad decisions, a lot of bad friends, a lot of bad relationships. But on the other side, I don't even want to think about all of the experiences and the joy and happiness that I might have, had in my life had I not been hiding all of this time. And it's so funny because it's such an oxymoron to say that I was hiding, but always wanting attention, always wanting to be seen. When I was younger, I had a lot of friends that were very outgoing and sort of always wanted that attention. And I secretly wanted it too. But what I ended up becoming was sort of just the friend in the background that sort of floated between the different friend groups, not making waves, slipping in and out, being able to do my own thing. And for a lot of years, I loved that. As I've gotten older, it's just become something that I know that I have to address. And especially as I've hit my 40s and I'm really realizing, like, you got to stop doing this. You can't just sit on the sidelines for the rest of your life, especially if you're in my brain, to hear all of the thoughts and ideas and exciting things that I want to do that can't be done invisibly and hiding and staying in the background and not getting myself out there. So it might seem really strange to say, but a big part of me starting this channel was actually a way for me to break out of that. I am building this whole brand to be seen. I have goals in the future of doing more on social media, which again is like the ultimate being visible to the world. This was one of those ways that I knew that I could finally put myself out there. And as strange as it sounds, I actually feel much more comfortable behind the camera, even though hopefully thousands of people are watching this. I actually feel more comfortable talking to the camera and being vulnerable with the camera. You know, I didn't start the Millennial Rebuild because I've had it all figured out. I basically started it because I was tired of hiding and I felt like I had things to say and things to put out into the world. And I couldn't do that if I didn't just jump in head first into this craziness of content creation. You know, I was tired of just always portraying this sort of curated version of me, of my life, of everything that I've been doing. And I want to be more real and vulnerable and genuine in my own body and mind and in what I put out into the world. And believe me, the irony is definitely not lost on me that the way that I'm choosing to be seen is by building in public. I know that must seem crazy pants, you know, sitting here talking to a camera, being vulnerable, talking about these personal things, but it feels right. And because of content creation, what I'm really realizing is building this new visible me, building visibility in general. It is not just a one-time choice. I have to purposely make the decision every day or whenever I create a video or make content. I have to make that very, very distinct decision to press that play button and to begin talking to the camera. Another thing that I've been learning about visibility is it's not like you just hit some threshold of readiness and then suddenly you're just all out there in the world. I'm good, I'm great, you know, it's all awesome. I don't have any issues with it anymore. That's not the case. And especially with doing something like YouTube and social media and content creation, that is just not a one and done. That is a very purposeful decision that you have to make every time you sit down to make content. Every time you hit that button to record, every time that you hit that button to publish that video, publish that reel, it is a choice, and it's a huge choice, but it's one that I've started to make and I'm choosing to make. And one of the other reasons that I wanted to talk about this is because I've been realizing how much it's been affecting the way that I run my businesses. So for real estate, you know that you just have to be out there. You have to be out there meeting people, getting your face out there, getting your name, your brand, all of that out there to be able to gain more clients and become more successful, all of those things. And I definitely realize that that is something that has, or not the main thing, but a part of why I don't feel like I've been as successful in the real estate business as I could have. Now, while it's gotten better, you know, there's still an issue of putting my face out there and just being seen by so many people. And then the potential of rejection and not being chosen, whew, that's another whole thing altogether. But so I know it has affected my real estate business. And what really has brought me to think about this and really focus on changing this way that I see being visible and being seen in the world is the business that I am building for real estate agents. And it's all fun and games when you're behind the scenes, you're building the website, you're building your products, you're putting all of this together because you've got this passion, you've got this interest. And then once you hit like this point, you're like, crap, well, now I have to start marketing myself and my business. And fortunately or unfortunately, a big part of that is blasting yourself all over social media. And again, it comes down to that. Am I ready to be visible in that way? Am I ready to be seen? And are these products good enough? And am I going to seem good enough? Are people going to actually like it? There's so much that goes into it, but that first step of visibility has been the most difficult. And again, that's part of why I'm doing the Millennial Rebuild, to sort of get in the reps, get in the repetition of sitting myself down, putting myself in front of a camera, and knowing that so many people are going to be able to see this. And while that's scary, and I probably could have done it in a way less immersive way, it has been a really big shift for me. At first, it was really challenging, of course. And like I said, it's always challenging sometimes to actually sit down and want to press that record button and want to press that publish button. But now, as I create videos and start putting myself out there, start putting my face out there, it gives me so much more happiness and joy. And especially if I can help someone in some way, just by jabbering at a camera or a phone and throwing it up on the internet, that's the kind of visible that I want to be known for, is being seen as someone who is of service, who helps people, who brings a positivity and a kindness to the world in the best way that I know how. Obviously, I don't have all of this figured out. I'm not going to pretend that the fear is 100% gone, because it's not. Every time that I post something like this, honest and vulnerable, I sort of sit back and some part of me waits. I still brace myself in such a way where I feel like it's going to cost me something. Now that I'm in my 40s and I'm hitting this place in life where I would much rather be seen and heard and wrong sometimes than to be completely invisible and just hide in my safe little cocoon forever, because that's not life. I can make that my life, but that's not the life that I want to live. I spent way too many years chasing safe, chasing the quiet, the hiding behind the scenes, not putting myself out there. I spent so many years doing that, and I am sad for my past self, but I'm so excited for my today and my future self because of the way that I want to present myself more to the world. So if you're kind of like I have been, where you have been hiding, not because you don't have something to say, but because saying it means that you have to be seen and known, I see you. Ironically, I see you. And I see you and I understand you, because I finally am letting myself be seen. And it's not so bad, I promise.